Daf Ayin He Amud Aleph, 19 lines down. V'chein haya Hillel Omer, no tilva isha woman. Bet Hillel also was mahmir in the Mishnah, saying women can't lend stuff to her friend unless you evaluate it. Mari Dar Shmuel, Zudir Veri Hillel, that's according to Bet Hillel. Abba Hachamim Hachamim say, Lovim Setam, Uparim Setam, just borrow and lend, no problem. Cup of flour, a loaf of bread, etc., no problem. Amar Vidamar Shmuel, Bnei Habura, Shnach Makbedin Zel, the people who are makpid on each other. Let's say guys go on a road trip and they're makpid on every penny. Alvrin, it will lead to them being alver on Shabbat and Yom Tov because mishum midayil measure to make sure you're getting the same ounce. Mishum mishkal, you're also going to weigh every single pound. Mishum minyan, then you're going to start counting. It also asur in Shabbat and Yom Tov. Mishum lovinu parin, you might even pay back and borrow on Shabbat and Yom Tov, which is also asur because you might write it down. B'Yom Tov, this will happen on Yom Tov or Shabbat. Mishum rebit, and Bet Hillel would say it's even asur because of interest. He's more machmir regarding the interest. Amar Damarav, Amar Shmuel. Chachamim are allowed to borrow on each other in interest. My ta'ama, why? Maybe they know rebit asur, and therefore matana who they have the extra is just a gift. Shmuel one time told Avuha, give me 100 peppers, but me'abesin balloon, I'll give you 120. And it's okay, because they understood it was a gift. Mari Damarav, the person is allowed to lend interest to his children to force them to pay him interest because it'll teach them about the bitterness and they won't do it to others. Interesting. The love melting, but we say no, mishum da'at the misrach, because they might be drawn to it. Yani they'll say, oh wow, look at this. I borrowed 100. I pay back 125. This is a good business. I'll do this. Therefore, we don't want people to do it. Omer adam lachaver, a person tells his friend, nakesh aimev nakesh immecha. You weed my field, I'll weed your field. Ador aimev ador immecha. Dig for me and I'll dig for you. Don't tell him nakesh aimev ador immecha. You weed for me and I will dig for you. Two different items. Dig for me and I'll weed for you. Because maybe two different amounts of work. And if more work is in one of them, then it looks like a beat. All the days of the dry season are considered one. Rainy season the same day. Yani don't think that it's different in the hours. Therefore, a person can't tell anyone else. Work with me during the dry season. And I'll work for you in the rainy season. There's advanced interest and after the fact interest. We had this before. You see a guy you want to borrow money from, you send him a gift. Here's a beautiful tequila bottle, so you could lend me money. This is advanced interest, it's asur. If you borrow money from someone, you return the money, then he sends him a gift. Thank you so much for the money that you left by me for free. Here's my tequila bottle for your time. This is after the fact interest. Okay. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Yesh Ribit Barim, they're also interest of words. Don't say, I'm borrowing a lender. I'm going to hook you up for lending me money. Your customer is in town. I just want to let you know to hook you up. The people who are over and a lot for repeat. המעבד לנדר בהלווה לבעל, והערב וגרנטור והעדים די געדים. והחמיר אף הסופר, even the סופר זה עובר. עוברים משום עובר על הדאורייתא, לא תיתן, ומשום אל תיקח מאיתו, don't take it, ומשום לא תהיה לו כנושה, ומשום לא תשימון עליו נשך, ומשום לפני ולא תשים משוב, ויראתם אלוקיך אני השם. All these עבירות מהתורה you're over on. Tanya, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Yom Chai, coming up. And usually doesn't say hi to him. That you can't all of a sudden be nice to him. Talmud Amar. Neshech kol davar asher yishach. Don't pay back anything in interest. I feel dibur isur asur. Even extra words that you wouldn't have said it before is asur. Be'elo avrin people are chayav. Mar b'yeh maldeh over b'kulan. The lenders an over on all the isur doraita that I mentioned in the Mishnah. Lover over mishum, but the borrower only over on lo tashich. Achicha, don't lend interest. Lo achicha lo tashich. Don't pay interest. Don't give your brother, charge your brother interest with an iver, and don't put the stumbling block. And the guarantor and the witnesses are only over on the placing interest. Then now, Rabbi Shlomo Malveh b'ribit someone lends interest yoter mima shmarvichim mafsidin. They'll lose more than they gain. Below additionally, Moshe Rabbeinu Chacham. They look as Moshe as a Chacham, v'torato emet, and his Torah is emet. That is a euphemism for saying the opposite. That Moshe was not a Chacham and Hashem Torah is not the emet. But that's their way of saying, oh, he got it wrong. The Moshe, if you Moshe Rabbeinu would have known how much profit you could do by interest, he wouldn't have said asur, and that's why we say that the people who are over on it must be saying that Moshe got it wrong. Ki atar Rabbi Amar minayin len osbah Harman I know someone lends someone else money, b'yodei she'en lo, he knows that he doesn't have money to pay back. She'asur la'avor l'fanav. Don't start passing by him. Don't walk back and forth with him from shul. You know he's shaking in his boots. Don't be as a creditor. Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi, the Amit they both say, you're hurting the borrower with two punishments. Shene'emar, hirkav ta'enosh l'roshenu banu ba'esh u'b'mayim. You're going to hit him like fire and water. Call me whoever's money, lends without witnesses, you're putting a stumbling block because the guy is not going to be tempted to sin by saying he never got money. He ends up putting a curse on himself because the guy denies the debt. Now you're going to look foolish. People are going to curse you out. Look at this guy. He's trying to claim money from this poor, innocent man. There was never even a demo or a star that he borrowed money. Ravina does everything Hachamim said. You want to test him? He says, you know what? Let's see how detailed he is. Can you send me 10 zuz loan? I want to buy a small piece of land. Send back to him. Go bring witnesses. And I'll write it. The star. Shalachai says, I also need a loan. Come on, you don't trust me. He's testing him. Shalachai says to him, Kol shekem, of course you. The Tarid begin to say, you're so busy with your studies and your learning. You might forget about it in the night, and then I'll be cursed. So he was following the Chachamim's words. There are people who cry out but are not answered. Whoever has money lends it without interest, without witnesses. Sorry. Whoever buys himself a master, what that means. Also, whoever's wife rules over him. Last one's pretty self-explanatory. He who acquires a master over himself, what does that mean? Some people say he always says that whatever he has belongs to a non-Jew, because then he doesn't want people to know that he owns stuff. Oh yeah, no, that belongs to Joe. Until Joe finds out and says, okay, I'll take it. A different answer. Whoever writes over his property to his children while he's alive, the children won't respect him and won't care about him because they have his inheritance already. The bish le behamata, one who's unsuccessful in one town, he doesn't try to move to a different town to try his mazal there. That is also someone who is acquired a master himself. He has no future success because he's not trying to rebuild. If someone hires workers and they tricked each other, look what that means. They can only complain. They can't force anybody to pay. We'll explain. Most of this Mishnah is very vague, and it'll be explained further in the Gemara. You hire a donkey driver or wagon driver to deliver wood for a chuppah, or to deliver flutes for a bride or for a funeral. To hire workers to remove flax from the soaking waters, or anything else that is time sensitive and it can be lost. And the workers backed out. If there's no other place, so the employer must hire other workers, and the first workers who backed out have to pay the difference in price. Or he can trick the first workers into working for him. We'll explain what that means. Someone hires a worker, and they quit in the middle. Now they have the lower hand. Their wages are calculated. Their wages are calculated very prorated against them, meaning, let's say they're paid $1,000 for the completion, even though they only did half. We're going to explain how we still don't pay them as much as they should have earned because we're penalizing them. Also, vice versa. And if the owner tells them to stop working, he also has the lower hand. He has to pay them much more than the prorated amount. The basic common denominator is whoever deviates from what he's supposed to do. He's in the bottom. Whoever backs out, he also has the bottom. Okay, now the Mishnah doesn't say Chazru ze bazeh loktani. The Mishnah said that did not say that the owner backed out. Ella hitu ze et ze. The atu parli madadi. It says they tricked each other, which means the workers tricked each other. Let's talk about. If the Babayit says zil ogarli parlim be'azal ihu ve'itinu. Right, so it must be talking about a case where the owner told a worker, manager, go hire workers and do the job, and he went and he tricked them. What's the case? If he told the manager, hire the workers for $400 an hour, $400 a day, and he told them three. What complaint is there can it be? They heard three, they accepted three. What's the problem? He saved the owner money. We're going to come back to that answer. If we say that the guy told him to hire him with three, then he said, you know what, I'll pay them four. A manager offered four. What's the case? If the guy said, I'm going to pay your money, I'm paying your wages, the manager says, I'm paying your wages, not the name of them today. He has to pay it. The time of birth says that. Someone hires a worker to perform a job in his own field. He accidentally shows them someone else's field to do, and they work in that field. No, he has to pay them the wages that he promised them. And he has to pay the owner of that field just for what he benefited, but not for the wages. So we see that if you promise wages, you pay it no matter what. So if he offered the work, if the manager offered more money than he was supposed to, he'd have to pay it. So what's the case in Mishnah? He says no. I told the manager to pay them four. He told them to pay them three. He told them four, and he said the owner, yani me, is going to pay them. That they can't claim from the owner because he said I didn't pay him pay that much, and they can't claim from the worker because he's not paying you, manager. Okay, let's see how other workers are usually hired. If they're usually four, then he can claim it from the employer. If it's usually three, then they have nothing to do. So no, it's not a case where sometimes they get three, sometimes they get four. The Amrullah, because he'll work, the manager, if you didn't tell us four, we would have found a different job that you could have been paid for. Even they had a different answer. Referring to a case where the workers were actually their own field owners. He found other people who owned fields, and he said, "I'm paying you high price." The Amrullah, they could tell him, if you didn't pay us, offer us so much money, 400, we wouldn't, it says four zuz, we're saying 400 though, for simpler. If you didn't offer us so much money, we would have just stayed home and avoided the embarrassment of working somewhere else. We would have worked in our own fields. The only reason why we slept out here is because, and not work our own field, because you offer us so much. That's the complaint. Even they have a different answer. The Lambit Pu'alim Maskinan really talking about regular workers. And still, the Amrile, they tell the manager, Kevin the Amar Tambara went to those four, we did extra beautiful work, and therefore we should be getting paid extra for our extra work. Where I said extra quality. Where I said, okay, but let's have it time. Okay, if it did good work, let's see what they did. If it's good work, then pay me for it. Where I says, Beriska, some other case where they were digging. So when I said, okay, but if Ganami made it out, okay, let's see the quality of digging. Where I says, the war they became full of water, and now you can't tell the quality anymore. Even they have different answers, like we said earlier. Really told him, I'll do four. And the batata. And the hiring worker went out, told the other guys that he's paying three. We said earlier, the first answer, we said that can't be a good answer because if they accepted three instead of four, they accepted it. What's the problem? The answer is the complaint can be because they could tell the manager, let lach antimnat, told me ba'alav. Don't hold back good from someone else. You held us back from money. What difference does it make if you're saving the guy money? He told you to hire us for 400. You offered us three, we accepted it, but we could have gotten four. Why did you have to offer us three? We could have gotten four. We'll stop here. Amen.